In this video, I'm going to show you step-by-step instructions on how to replace the screen on the iPhone 11 Pro. Begin by powering down the device, if you can. Then take a pentalobe screwdriver and remove the two screws that secure the screen down from either side of the lightning connector at the bottom of the phone. Heating up the device is optional, however I'm going to choose to just get a razor blade and create a small gap between the very edge of the screen and the edge of the chassis, and I'm going to push it down, pry it upwards to lift up the screen a little bit, and that's going to allow me to create a gap big enough to fit the plastic guitar pick in there. And now we're just going to insert that a couple of millimeters and slide it along the edge of the device on the right side, bottom edge and left hand edge. Don't worry about the top edge because we're going to lift it up, wiggle it from side to side, and then it opens up like opening a book from the back cover. Once you've got the phone open, it's always worth putting a weighted, sturdy object behind the phone to stop the screen from falling over while you're working inside the device. Next, we need to disconnect the battery. That's hidden under this little shield here that's held down with two tri-wing screws. Remove the two screws, then take your tweezers to remove the shield. Store them safely for reinstallation later. Then take a plastic opening tool to disconnect the battery, isolating power from the device. We're now going to remove this shield here that holds down the connectors for the screen. So we need to remove the 6 tri-wing screws that hold that in place. Just remember, if you like repair content just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're having a go at the repair yourself for the first time, let me know how you go on in the comments below. Once you've unscrewed all 6 of those screws, you can use the tweezers again to remove the shield, store it safely for later. Then we're going to disconnect this flex cable here using the plastic spudger, this flex cable here for the touch, and then this cable here for the ear speaker and front sensors. That's going to allow the screen to be lifted away from the chassis now, and you might find that some of the adhesive comes along with it as well. If it does, just pull it free. Don't worry about that stuff. That's going to lead us nicely into the next step, which is of course removing any of that excess adhesive that's left behind. So just take some tweezers and begin pulling on the excess to remove it. Make sure that it's all gone away before we start cleaning it up a little bit more. And same again on this side. We'll grab it with the tweezers and then begin pulling it to separate it. If you find that it snaps, just pull another little bit off and go again. Now that all the adhesive's removed, we're going to get a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, run a small bead along the edge, and then using a cleaning brush, get rid of any dust, dirt and grime that's left behind on the chassis, making sure that we leave a nice clean surface to stick our new dust and moisture resistant seal onto. Once that's cleaned up, your new replacement screen should come with one of these dust and moisture resistant seals. Just install it in the top left corner first, sticking it down along the left hand edge to line it all up, and then the rest of it should follow suit on the rest of the edges. And then I like to use the flat end of the spudger just to make sure that it's stuck down all the way around the edges and it's secured nice. Now we can peel off the top layer of the film, leaving behind just the new dust and moisture resistant seal. We'll put the chassis and the rest of the phone to one side now and then get hold of that broken screen, and we're going to take the tri-wing screwdriver again now and remove the 3 screws that hold down the ear speaker and front sensor flexors. Once those 3 screws are removed, we're going to take our tweezers and we're just going to flip over this ear speaker like that. And then you might find, if the screen's never been replaced on your phone, that these are quite tricky to get out. You may need to use a heat gun or hairdryer to soften the adhesive under there, but in our case this screen's been replaced before, meaning it's quite easy to remove those sensors here with the tweezers. Just remember that the proximity sensor and ambient light sensor are both important for the Face ID function, and any damage to these cables here or this part along this longer cable can cause Face ID to have problems. So just remember that when transferring this across. Now we're going to get hold of our new screen. I will put a link in the description below for this one. It's a soft OLED aftermarket display, and we'll begin by removing any of the plastic films on the back of the screen. Now we're going to line up the ear speaker and the top flex cables, so we're going to just offer it up and secure it into place. Fold over the ear speaker like that, and then we're going to re-secure those 3 tri-wing screws that we removed from the other screen to re-secure this ear speaker back into place on our new display. With that secured down, we're going to get the rest of the phone back over here now, and then we're just going to offer up these cables, starting off first of all with the LCD or display connector. Once that's in line and secured, then we can do the touch cable, which is this one here, and the ear speaker. These can be awkward to line up. You can see I'm struggling with this one because it's just a bit flexible. It's just bouncing around a little bit. But once it's lined up, just apply some pressure and it will secure down. And then we can re-secure the battery. This is a really good time to test that the screen works as well before you carry on reassembling the phone. However, for the sake of the video, I'm going to carry on reassembling the device, securing down this shield again and the 6 tri-wing screws that held that down. This phone here is actually part of a video that I'm recording where we're flipping phones for resale, and hopefully by the time this one's released, there'll be a link to that video in the top right hand corner. Once those 6 screws are in, we can go ahead with re-securing the little shield for the battery cover now, and that's held in place by the 2 tri-wing screws as well. Just make sure that you've got all the screws reinstalled, and then we're going to fold the phone shut. We can realign it in the top, in this top edge here, and apply pressure along the edges. Just make sure there's no flex cable trapped in this little gap here, and apply pressure to secure it down. And then finally, you can go ahead and reinstall the 2 pentalobe screws that we removed all the way back at the start of the video. Once the device is on, you can remove the plastic film and do some basic testing, making sure that touch is all good and that there's no problems with the display. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.